So between producing music, reaching out to potential clients, making content for new releases, sending invoices, while trying to learn a new instrument or attend family birthdays, it's exhausting. We're only humans, and sometimes trying to keep up with all this is just too much, which often leads to procrastination, laziness, and sometimes even make us give up on our dreams. And this was exactly how my life used to be when I first started as a music producer and content creator. I was completely lost, scattered, overwhelmed, and I could not get anything done or make considerable amount of progress towards my music goals. My workflow was completely inefficient, and I knew that if I wanted to make this my job, I was going to have to find better solutions for myself to make time for the things that mattered to me. So one day, while browsing on YouTube for absolutely no reason, I ended up on a video by Nicholas Grissel that would change my life. He is a YouTuber and filmmaker that made a video about how he was using a program called Notion to plan his amazing mini documentaries. From that moment, I was completely hooked. I instantly downloaded it and installed it on my computer. I then started to look into how I could use this tool to organize my workflows and every aspect of my creative life, just to be able to win back some time and peace of mind. I used to write lyrics ideas on my phone, I used to send myself reminders on Messenger, I used to plan my YouTube videos on Evernote, I used to take notes from tutorials I watched on Google Docs. Everything was all over the place, it was a mess, which ended up making me lose hours and hours per week. But as soon as I started using Notion, suddenly everything became easier because everything became one. I was able to develop systems and templates to streamline my workflows, which day by day and month after month got me back at least 8 hours per week. So in time, it allowed me to focus on the things that really mattered to me as my creative life and music business was finally running smoothly. So today I'm going to walk you through my entire Notion workflow and show you the systems and templates I developed for myself in order to help you keep track of your clients, organize your songs, plan your social media content, keep all your notes in one place, and ultimately save more time so you can get shit done. So if anybody doesn't know Notion, how does it work? It is basically a free all-in-one productivity and management platform where you can basically do anything. You can capture notes, manage projects, team, create lists, databases, pages. You can even embed videos or photos, and this is just me scratching the surface. But for me, the power of Notion comes into the templates. When starting out, you can start from scratch, design it for yourself, developing your own systems, or you can start with their templates or templates developed by other Notion users, which saves you a huge steep learning curve and some time. Now, the way Notion actually works is through blocks. Everything is a block that you can access by typing the / key and then just select which blocks you want. This allows you to make pretty much anything you want, from to-do list to complex project management database, which you can then organize however you want by moving blocks around in sections. As the number of Notion users keep growing, you can find pretty much anything you want for tutorials on YouTube by just typing Notion, and most of them include links to download their own templates in the description. If you've been following me for a while, you probably used some of mine already, as I had a content calendar for social media, a song tracker, and recently a 2024 planner. But now, as I've been perfecting my whole workflow on Notion for the last 3 years, I just released the Ultimate Producer Dashboard template. It is basically a collection of all the templates and systems I use daily, all working together in one place, which includes everything you need to run your music producer business or life. But first off, I'm gonna show you how I use Notion to save myself about 8 hours a week. So right now we are on the main page, the main PLV Music Business Dashboard, which is divided in 5 main sections. We have the yearly goals, tasks, and predictions. We have the business hub. We have the social media hub over here. Then we have the productivity hub, and finally we have the learning hub. If we start by the business hub, the one that helps me the most in getting stuff done and saving time is the clients, projects, and tasks database. For me at the moment, it's mostly my students from the coaching sessions or the brand partners for sponsorships videos, but for you it could be your ghost production clients, mixing and mastering clients, it can be whatever you want it to be. So whenever I have a new client, I can just go to this top right corner blue button that says new and click on new client, and it's gonna show me predefined tags here that I can just fill out. I can add their email, budget, their company, website, and status, so I can keep track of each client's progress. Then the great thing with Notion as well is that it helps me to be reminded as to when I need to follow up. So for example, if I go to the next reminder here, if I want it to be next Friday, I can just click remind here and say 1 day before or on the day of the event, and then it'll send me a notifications here on the side of my menu to tell me that I need to contact this client again. Now, where it becomes really powerful is that I can link this new client to a project. So for example, here in project, if same I add a new project, and let's call it mixing and mastering, then in my new client that we can call John, I can link it to the new project that I added, mixing and mastering. Then let's say his album for the mixing and mastering has 7 tracks. I'm going to enter each track as being one task in my task database and link all of them into that one mixing and mastering project. Then every time I finish a track, I can check the complete box and a progress bar will appear on the project to show me its status. This way I can instantly see how I'm doing on every project that I take on. I can obviously enter deadlines as well for each task, and this way it'll allow me to see what I have to do today, tomorrow, or next week, or even more after that, which you can see on the calendar here. But as you can see, everything is working well together and it allows me to never miss any deadlines, to do a great job for my clients that hopefully wants to work with me again, and to stay on top of everything. So just that one is saving me so much brain resources and about 2 hours a week. There's even more to it, like sending invoices through Notion to the clients, but if I would cover everything in detail, this video would be 2 hours, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, so next we have the song tracker. We are creatives, which means that we get a lot of ideas, so we tend to actually start too many ideas. So this tracker allows me to visually see all the ideas or songs that I have going on at the moment personally, and it allows me to focus and to not start too many ideas if I have too many unfinished projects. For example, at the moment, I have 2 that are signed, all good. 1 demo is ready, which is just waiting to be signed, and 2 are just waiting the vocals, but the song is fully finished. But then after that, I have 5 little ideas that I started. So right now I decided to focus on this one, Dilemma, and I'm doing the arrangement for it. But before this one is in the mixing, mastering, or vocals category, or even demo ready, I will not start any of those ones. And in terms of block, this is pretty much the exact same thing as the client's projects and tasks management. It's a database. It's just visually organized differently because you have different options for views. I can see the project status here. I can just have a basic list overview of all my songs, or the one that I like as well is the calendar. This way I can see when I have my next releases. So My Oxygen was here, then I can see I have a new one, which actually is next week. And after this, I have another one on March 8th, which is pretty good, but I can see that I'd like to have another one around here, for example. So for instance, let's say you're working on a collaboration and the singer asks you what is the BPM and the key of the song so that he can record the vocals. If I would have to open Logic Pro and load the project so that I can see what the key and the BPM is, it would probably take me about more than 5 minutes. Whereas here, if I just go to my PLV song tracker, I can see instantly all the BPM and all the key of each of my songs, which just speeds up the process. Then I can also see their status, their release date, which label they are assigned to, if any. And then if you open each project, you have even more pages inside of them. So I can see all my reference tracks. This is supposed to be to-do list. There you go, which I can see everything that I had to do on this song. And I can see my release checklist as well, which is a very detailed, to-do list of everything I need to do to release my song post and pre-release. To be honest, the one I use the most is the to-do list, so that I know exactly what I have to do when I enter that studio session, and I do not wait or lose 30 minutes to find inspiration or to remember what I had to do to progress on that song. So once again, through this database and template, I'm able to save about an hour a week so that I can produce more music and, most importantly, take more of my unfinished projects to completion. Now, as a music creator, social media is a big part of my job to raise attention to my content and my music. But social media is exhausting for the brain. There is so much to think about, to remember. It can quickly feel like a total mess in your brain, so this is where a content calendar comes in handy. This one is just a calendar block on Notion, which is pretty straightforward. And anytime I want to add a new piece of content, I can just go to the same blue right top corner button that says new, and just here I'm prompted with more options for predefined templates for each type of piece of content that I want to do. So for example, if I choose the YouTube video, it's gonna prompt me with a whole new template that is being loaded at the moment. So all my title ideas, all the concept for my thumbnail, sponsored information, and then even more pages inside that has my script, some research and notes, and the publishing checklist, which is the same as the release checklist for the songs, but for a video. And I have the same like kind of templates for every piece of content, a newsletter, an Instagram Reels, everything. And for me, the point here is that it saves me time. I don't need to think, I can go straight to creating the piece of content. In order for me to be consistent on social media, it requires a lot of planning and a very easy workflow like this one that does most of the work for me. Otherwise, my brain would just explode. So anytime I have a new idea for a video or anything, I can just quickly enter it here. I can also see everything by status. So if it's just an idea, if I'm currently writing it, filming it, editing it, if it's ready, if it's scheduled, and if it's posted. And in the calendar view, I can quickly see if I'm ready for tomorrow or if I'm late or if I don't have any content. And I can just do all my planning like this very strategically. So this is honestly the best piece of template that I use in this dashboard. The last reason this is a lifesaver for me as well is that it allows me to keep all my ideas into one place. Notion also has a phone app which syncs with all the other ones all the time. So if I'm on the couch watching a movie but getting an idea for a video, I can quickly grab my phone and enter it there and it will sync on my desktop instantly. So if we go back to the Business Hub, which is where I spend half of my time, the other one that saves me a ton of time is the Finance Tracker. As a busy music producer and content creator, I do not want to do any of the admin and finances stuff. I'm a creative, those are my least favorite activities. But if, like me, music is your business, you don't have a choice. If you want to eat, you need to keep track of your finances. And trust me, when you have to do your finances yourself, it is a huge headache. I used to wait until the end of the month to calculate everything that I had made, and obviously it was always wrong because I was forgetting about the fees or anything else, and I would just spend like 2 hours to figure out how much I needed to pay myself. I am proud to say that those days are over because I finally developed a better system for myself thanks to Notion. So if you take a look at the Finance Tracker, it has 3 main parts. It has the monthly overview on the top, the earnings, and the expenses. All these are databases, but the beauty of it is that they work with each other. So for example, if I have a new earning for the month of January, I had a brand sponsor that did a payment of, I don't know, $500, and it was in January. Look at what's gonna happen over here. There you go. As soon as I added it, it added that I earned $500 more, and my balance now for the month is $500 more than it was before. And it's the same if I add some expenses here. Let's say, I paid my video editor, so it was outsourcing, and let's say it was $120. If I add then the month of January, thanks to beautiful coding in the back end of Notion, it automatically removed $120 in my balance, and this way I can see how much I earned, how much I spent, and the balance for the month. And this, I cannot tell you how much of a lifesaver it is. I think you can tell how much of a pain it's been for me to do it the messy way last year, but I'm super proud to have designed and developed this system, as it saves me another at least hour and a half of headaches, and I can then do other stuff that are more important than finances and admin stuff. Another thing I used to struggle a lot with was that I didn't have a good system or workflow to keep track of all the notes I took during online courses, YouTube videos, articles, newsletters, or books, for example. Everything was scattered, it was all over the place, and I was struggling and losing time to remember where I took that note about that serum base or that note about the YouTube titles. It was a mess. Or sometimes I would run into great resources for free that I didn't have the time to look into at the moment, that I would then lose because I didn't save or didn't remember where I saved it. So this is why I created this learning hub. I have 3 sections inside it. I have the online resources, my weekly learnings, and the reading list, which is on the Learning Hub page here. In the online resources section, I can store videos, online courses I bought, or any other type of educational resources that are in the not started status. But then once I want to get into it, then I move it into the in progress status, and then I can take notes as I go to remember what I learned. If I'm done with something, I can then put it into the done status, but because it's here, It's here forever and I won't lose my notes that I took. Now it works exactly the same for the books, I just have them separate into 2 different databases because for me those are just 2 different types and 2 different topics, but it pretty much works the exact same. Then if you are wondering what the weekly learning is for, it's for all this extra information that you get every week on different social media or newsletters or any research that you would do on your own. You know me, I'm someone that has a huge growth mindset, so I'm always looking to learn more and sometimes it's just too much to remember. So I like to have this so I can keep track of all the little bits of information I get online. So I'd say this saves me another 30 minutes as I don't need to keep looking for 10 minutes for that old notebooks that I took notes on. Or it also reminds me to take actions on all the free resources I run into or on all the courses that I bought. Lastly, we talked about it in a previous video, but I use Notion a lot to set my goals for the year and for the quarters. The worst that can happen for you is to be stuck into the analysis paralysis, this state where you're wondering what you should do next or which direction you should go. Whenever your head decides on a goal, but then you actually don't go through with it, this is not how you get things done. You get things done with a clear plan and action steps. So this is why I developed this system where at the end of every quarter, I reflect on what went well, what didn't go well, and where I want to be in the next 3 months. As you can see, I divide all of the quarters into 4 different categories, which are social media, business, music, and learning. And inside those categories, I also put 3 main goals that I want to reach. And if you take a closer look, you'll see that each of them are actually action steps. They are very specific as to what I need to do to really reach my goals. For example, if I look at the music one, it doesn't say finish 2 songs. It says finish Dilemma and finish Born to Live. Like I know which ones I want to finish and I'm committed to them. This one is in the vocals and this one is in the arrangement, so I'm pretty good to reach those goals. But this way I don't second guess myself or start going into so many different directions. I am focused, clear, and specific on my goals. And this is how you get shit done. But no, seriously, I cannot tell you how much lighter my brain felt since I've been using Notion, how much more serious I've been with my music and social media or my business, and how much time it saved me. So hopefully I was able to show you how powerful this tool can be for yourself. And if you don't want to have to start from scratch, remember that I made this producer dashboard template for every one of you out there, so you can check it out with the link in the description. If you take it, I hope it'll be as helpful for you as it is for me, but in the meantime, keep learning and I'll see you in the next one.